Anytime now. Okay. Coming to you live from the floor because our couch sucks. It's the field between
saga.
Yeah, I'm Ahmed.
And I'm Yasmin. And we're glad to be back. We've got some updates for you.
It's been a while. Yeah, we had a couple real big guests. Yeah,
we had a special guest last week.
Yeah.
And I was not there for that.
I still can't believe we got Joe Biden. Can you?
I can't. But I'm
That's
glad
incredible.
that you got to hold him to task.
We have 13 listeners, but still.
We have more than 13 listeners.
Podcast.
Why do you keep on saying that?
I think we have 13.
Oh, like subscribed. But we have more than 13 people listening to each episode.
Maybe.
He doesn't believe the stats, but
I don't believe the stats.
It ranges, but it is certainly more than 13.
They're fake numbers.
I think, this podcast I listen to regularly that I don't subscribe to, so I get it.
Now I think that's fucked up.
Now that you're on the other side
I think it's a fucked up thing to do. I think if you're listening and you're not subscribing.
Ahmed's calling you out right now. He's strong feelings.
Oh shit, hold on. What's going on? Hopefully that doesn't happen again, but I have to keep an eye on that.
But we're good?
I don't know. I hope so.
Good enough.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, so what are we talking about?
We're just kind of giving some life updates. We're going to have a more structured review of a movie we've been wanting to see for a very long time next episode. But this episode is
going to be talking about Joyland.
Yeah.
But if anyone wants to buy us a couch, I was going to say... We went and looked at couches today.
That were very outside of the budget that we set, but yes.
Yeah.
Ahmed found his dream couch that he's now lusting after.
It was nice.
It was very nice. It was very comfortable.
And I think for as much time as you spend on it, it's worth it.
What other fancy gadgets did you get recently that you're excited about?
I didn't get anything.
You got your
I got a foot massager. That's true.
That was just yesterday. What are you talking about?
I did get a foot massager. It's pretty nice because my feet get really
nice.
cold.
Yeah.
My feet are actually kind of sore because I've been using it so much.
Really?
Yeah.
You overused your foot muscles?
I went a little too hard. Yeah.
That's so silly, but so funny.
I want to be using it tonight, but I think I need to not.
You should pace yourself. It's too much of a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. General updates. We had a really good house day today, which I feel like we're kind of in need of. Ahmed vacuumed everything. I took out the trash, did the dishes. We prep food for the week.
Yeah, we're really
got groceries.
Historically pretty bad at grocery shopping.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
And cooking in advance.
There's some things that we are really good at, or that one of us is good at, and the other is for example, Ahmed is the vacuuming, and I generally do the dishes, and it complements each other. But neither of us are great at grocery shopping for some reason. And now that I don't drive, it's also a little harder.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of up to me to.
Well, I usually keep track of the list and I go with you and stuff, but you're right, you do get us there. And I will say I do Salem's and the Greek shopping pretty often.
That's true.
But for our big co-op shop, yeah. So
but we are trying to meal prep.
Yeah, and I think we're trying to find a system that works for us that is sustainable and not too onerous, which I think will take some time, but it feels nice to be starting the process and thinking it through.
Yeah, because of my gut issues, I need to eat more frequent but smaller meals.
And so if it's just easier to have it there and not have to constantly cook, yeah. Have healthy meals on hand and snacks. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think also just trying to eat healthier. I ate out a lot this semester, so it would be helpful for me too. And
lost
just
a lot of money in that
budget-wise,
vending machine.
Yeah, I do. Vending machines hate me, just like how doors hate me. I've had so many times where I'm trying to get a snack and then it just takes my money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that's racist?
I think it's just a me problem.
Okay.
But what I do think is racist is your Facebook Marketplace problem.
We've been dealing. So, I've noticed a pattern that if there's something we want on Facebook Marketplace, I'll reach out to someone, and because of my name and profile picture, they see the message and I feel like they don't respond. And we've tested it because we have tested it. I've reached out.
Yeah.
And then we had your mom, and then you, in some instances, I think, reach out for the same object, and you reached out after I did, and they responded to you first.
I think it's both you being Arab and you being a man. It's a combination.
Maybe it's a man.
Yeah. But I think it's also you being Arab. Yeah.
with the name, and my profile picture is what is it? It's me. I'm wearing a shashaya.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Your cover photo is like
you should.
Cat.
You're the scholar on race and religion.
You're right, and I have a whole like chapter on hats.
Yeah. So.
But I was thinking about your cover photo. I was trying to remember it was still the Marxist one, but I think it's the cat now.
I changed it. Why did I change it? I forgot.
Maybe from pressure from adding people that I knew.
Yeah, I think because you're like advisor and people
in my life. Yeah. I didn't ask you to change it, but
you did not.
You
but
pressured yourself.
I felt bad.
It was just like a silly joke. It wasn't anything bad, but
it was David Harvey pointing to a blackboard that said surplus value is stored in the balls.
Very silly.
Yeah.
Doesn't even make sense.
Yes, it does.
But yeah, no, I think it's not an issue that we had in North Carolina. It seems to be a Pennsylvania issue, which is a bit of a bummer.
I feel like it happened in North Carolina, but
I don't remember it happening this
extent.
frequently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you rarely get people to respond to you here, which is pretty sad because you really like Facebook Marketplace.
I want to give them money. Yeah,
racism has real consequences.
I'm gonna be sad if I don't get that. There's a coat that I really want to get right now.
I just messaged her, so we're kind of like.
Yeah, we'll see if she responds. That would be fucking nuts.
Yeah, but actually, the couch that we have.
Message? Did she look at it?
Not yet.
Okay.
I was just checking. The couch that we currently have that we hate very much was this situation where you messaged, they didn't respond.
Do you think it's making our marriage stronger?
My mom messaged an hour later, and they responded.
Yeah. That we both hate the couch. That we're bonding over. No, you don't think so?
I mean, that's a sweet thought. I feel like we have a lot of other things to bond over.
You think the effect of it is marginal?
Yeah, I think it more just kind of hurts our back. If anything, I think
it really hurts my back and neck. Yeah.
If anything, I think I would probably spend more time with you in this room if this couch was less comfortable, was more comfortable.
The compromise I'm willing to make is that I don't need the expensive mattress that I want.
Ahmed wants like a list of expensive things, and it's just like always us.
But these are useful things. I'd love to hear other people's opinion on it because you spend 8 hours a day in bed. Ideally, it's a third of your life,
right?
So like to me, a $2,000 or $3,000 mattress doesn't seem that crazy.
I like how you're lowering the price. Isn't it like $4,000?
No.
The purple mattress?
No, if you can get it on a deal.
All right. We'll see.
And then also a couch. I'm just like, yeah, you're going to be on it a lot.
I think for me, the hesitancy with an expensive couch is that I don't know what our next space will look like. And I would hate to like invest in something and not be able to use it. Especially if we're able to use our couch downstairs, which works really well. Then like I don't need two couches necessarily, depending on the space.
But we weren't able to use our couch downstairs. That's the thing.
No, I know. But for our next space, we might be able to as the TV couch. But we'll figure it out.
No.
Yeah, general update. Speaking of like bed, I'm very sleepy.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've talked about it before, right? I have like pretty chronic sleep issues that are not that serious, but like once a week, I would say I just don't sleep very much.
Yeah.
And it's very annoying. It's very boring to be awake for that long.
Yeah, you should get up and do something.
Well, I researched stuff. I looked up apartments. I make lists.
That's good.
I could get up more, I guess you're right. But then I'm like, what if I fall asleep? That'd be so nice. And I do eventually. Yeah. So, yeah. But I think I fell asleep around 4 and I woke up around like 9. Actually, it's not even that bad, but it feels bad. I really need 8 hours of sleep at this point in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. More exciting updates. We had the poetry event last Thursday.
Yeah.
And it was really nice. It felt like to me, it felt like a really nice kind of first iteration of what I hope grows to be a larger thing.
I gotta check the sweet
yams?
potatoes. Yeah, be right back.
Wait, let me try and find you a sweet potato song. I know that's your specialty, but let me see.
Can I get to the yams? Sweet yams. Show me the way, 'cause I got bills to pay. Can I get to the yams? Sweet yams. Show me the way, 'cause I got bills to pay.
Okay.
Yeah, so folks who don't remember, the idea of the event was poetry of liberation, reflecting on Palestine. And so we had about 8 readers, I think. Some people reading original works, including some just incredible poets that we were really lucky to have in Pittsburgh who are affiliated with Pitt, with the university.
Yeah.
and also affiliated with City of Asylum, which is a project that creates residencies for at-risk or for in exile artists, including poets. And so we had a person from each of those groups. We had readers from Jewish Voices for Peace in Pittsburgh. We had a speaker from Students for Justice in Palestine at Pitt. I'm just using Pitt now, but it's because I'm a cool kid, but it's a shortener for University of Pittsburgh. And then you, myself, and our friend who helped organize it all read works by other people. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it felt really nice and fluid. I think probably my only real regret is that more people weren't able to come. It's so hard to gauge with like wait lists and stuff.
We had to cap it at 60 people.
Right.
I think almost everyone probably came. What do you think?
I had a hard time. I think it was probably 50 is my guess, which is still pretty good.
But the wait list was 70 people.
Right. So it's too bad because it could have easily been like 100 if we had no restrictions. I think it probably would have been more about 100 if we were able to let everyone come who was able to make it, including last minute cancellations.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a nice mix of people from different walks of life. A lot of folks affiliated with the university, but not exclusively. Mm-hmm. And at least to me, it felt kind of like a nice, I don't want to say restorative, but kind of like space of reflection and pause and connection, which was kind of, I think, what the intention was. Yeah. And I met a lot of people who are doing great work around the city, so that felt really nice. And I went to a protest on Saturday at Fetterman's office, and it was really cool to like see familiar faces and like start to feel more like a part of a community that is trying to do things.
Yeah, I think that's really important. You kind of, without kind of like a sense of community, I think it makes it less likely that people are going to show up for things like that because they're like, oh, who am I helping? Whatever.
Right. It's harder to sustain actions, I think.
So I think it does have like a material effect, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I would have gone, honestly.
I know some people think of like, oh, poetry, like what's that going to do right now? And it's like, it's not really about the poetry itself. Like hopefully people will hear it and have time to reflect and feel inspired. But yeah, I think like very materially, like people meet at these events and then like build solidarity that way.
Yeah. I know some of the folks that we knew in North Carolina. It's been so cool to see how hard they've gone for Palestine. And I think part of that is to do with like friends of ours who are activists who really inspired them. And it's like really lovely to see.
Yeah.
But I think overall it was really nice. And I met a lot of really cool people. So that was lovely.
Yeah. No, you did a great job organizing it.
Thank you. I was exhausted. Like I was so dead after, but it was, and also the poetry, I don't want to brag, but it was like one of the better poetry events I've been to. I felt it was such a good mix of pieces. Mm-hmm. I was like exposed to new poetry, like heard old things that I really love that are close to my heart. So that was really nice too.
Yeah. I had a lot of people follow up with me to ask me specific, because we played Sam Hazo's recordings and
from this podcast.
Yeah. And they were like, they followed up to ask me to send it to them because they really liked his pieces. So
if anyone's I gotta make sure to let him know. In meeting him also, I mean, if he's open to that, I mean, imagine.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But if he wants, like, if they want his email or whatever, I guess they could just find it. You found it.
They could find it. Yeah, that's true. But I would say definitely look him up.
Yeah, but it was really special hearing the recording in that space and like seeing people's reactions was really nice.
Yeah,
and you telling the story of how you came to like know him and that was really sweet. I'm trying to think anything else to reflect on from that event. I also want to have food next time.
We're gonna try to do another one, I think, but I don't know when.
Yeah, and I think we have now some as we're getting to know the city better, there's at least one org that it seems like it would be a really good place to have it, that is open to it. So there's that. And then I think we might try and do one at one of the universities. And I think that would be a very different kind of feeling, probably a little more almost protest oriented is my guess. But I think that it would still be helpful and interesting.
You were saying that maybe the university, I don't know if you want to talk about this, but
I would cut that if that's okay. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. I think what we can say is that, so we just cut something. We're not going to say what, but I think what we can say is that definitely there's still tensions on campus and trying to, I'm also just like, to be frank, trying to still think about what my role is as like a new faculty member and really wanting to be a support for students in this moment and also, be a good educator. It's a lot to balance. But I'm learning a lot and there's, a lot of really brave faculty who I'm happy to learn from.
Yeah.
It was so interesting. I was in a group of faculty on Friday and we were talking about this letter that went around that was basically trying to preempt what is happening on other campuses with SJP and JVPs being kicked off. And it was like in support of free speech and the right to, you know, criticize nation states and all that sort of stuff. And it was really pretty tame, to be honest. Like it didn't have like any definitive stance on, you know, like it wasn't even really very, very radical. It was actually written by someone in the law school. And only 80 of us signed it. And there's like thousands of faculty at Pitt, which I think is not a great sign of things to come. I think people are afraid. It definitely feels very much like the new kind of McCarthyism to be in solidarity with Palestine, which is ridiculous. It's really wild.
What's weird is I'm actually not the first person to say this. I saw a friend post it on her stories. But it's like you can sit there and probably as faculty critique the US all you want. You can critique Europe, France, England all you want. You could say whatever you want about Russia.
Yeah, of course.
And probably no repercussions. And then the minute you say something about Israel.
Yeah, and I hope that we can kind of make that discrepancy clear to more people, because you're right, it's so bizarre. And like there's all these free speech nuts out there, and it's like this is a huge free speech issue. Like even if you don't feel personally invested in Palestine, which obviously we think that you should be, it is crazy how much is being censored on campuses. Yeah.
Yeah, I would. We also just kind of on it. We obviously haven't prepared it, and we've been busy, so we haven't been able to do much reading. But I brought up to you the idea that I really want to do an episode about just kind of, I don't know what you would call it, like necropolitics around like Israel.
Well, I think I mentioned to you that there's I kind of walked us through the sexualities of terrorism by, or is it called Terrorist Assemblages? Actually, I think it's called Terrorist Assemblages by Jess Pépoir. And her second book is just on that, so that would be really cool to read together.
That'd be cool, because I just like the things that I've heard, and they've resumed their bombing campaign and are abiding by no international laws at this point, and the U.S. has given them a bunch of bunker buster bombs, and it's just gonna get worse and worse. And a lot of journalists have been posting that they're pretty sure they're gonna die, and so it just seems like a state that is obsessed with death and maiming in a way that we honestly haven't seen since World War II.
Absolutely.
Actually, we probably have, right? Like with actually, like Cambodia.
Right. But this is very like systematic. Speaking of a certain person who died recently.
By the way, we just we'll play some cheers and some like air horns. I mean,
I don't normally celebrate
he didn't get owned, but he died at 100, so it's not like he got owned. Like he had a great life.
And I would say, what's that Mark Twain quote? Like I try not to celebrate death, but there's some obituaries I've read with pleasure, but Kissinger is definitely one of
people have been sharing Anthony Bourdain a lot because he just fucking hated Kissinger too. But I mean, it sucks because there really is no justice, because the guy lived a long full life and
continued to advise people, apparently.
People, but fuck him. Like he's a piece of shit. I hope his legacy, the effects of his life will be felt for like generations to come, but I hope just people, when they say his name, is done with like great distaste from now on.
Yeah, absolutely. But kind of going back to what you were saying about the systematic maiming, I read recently, and I haven't verified this, but I'm curious if you've seen it, that like they're using AI, like the Israeli military is kind of using AI to randomly select targets. So they're literally just kind of like picking who dies at will, kind of, and making no attempt to even pretend that they're not hitting civilian targets. They're just like picking which civilians are going to die based on automated randomized things, which is really creepy.
It's weird because they're also saying, I mean, this has been done for forever, right? Like they say, oh, we're being incredibly precise,
right? And
all of this new technology, like these missiles. One thing that's been going on that people have been talking about, I'll take a step back and then I'll connect it. But so people have been saying like, oh, Israel's just carpet bombing Palestine and Gaza, and even though people who are pro-Israeli have been saying, oh, you should turn Gaza into a parking lot, like turn it into a parking lot, make sure like nothing can grow there or whatever, destroy the infrastructure. A lot of defenders of Israel have been getting into people's like mentions and stuff and being like, who are saying that Israel's carpet bombing. They're like, no, this is not carpet bombing, and they're doing it on a technicality. Because carpet bombing is like you're dropping unguided bombs from the sky onto an area and just like leveling it.
Okay, interesting. I didn't realize that was
as opposed to using a missile that is guided
right.
and just like causing a ton of destruction,
but still hitting civilian targets intentionally. Yeah,
and you're just like, whether intentionally or unintentionally, it doesn't matter. Like the weapon systems, I think
but it is absolutely intentional at this point. They're choosing like.
Sure. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean that they don't know what they're doing. It's like these weapon systems, there's no way anyone can assume
right.
like
even if they wanted to only hit precision totally
to the point like in a as densely populated an area as they're hitting. But yeah, so people have been saying like, oh, it's technically not carpet bombing, and you're just like, they've just abandoned all edifice of an argument where Israel's like a moral actor in this situation. They're trying to just make it about military jargon, and you're just like, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
like, because carpet bombing specifically is a war crime, and there's like, well, Israel's just doesn't care. Like it commits war crimes daily, so I don't
they're not
even
going to
really
get held
know
account.
Why you're trying to abstract this out.
No. The U.S. will never be held account for war crimes. Israel will never be. I mean, unless actually maybe Israel will one day be in a just world where things change. But I mean, yeah, it's international law obviously doesn't mean that much for countries that are in power.
I'm afraid we're getting to a scary point where the violence is just being normalized among a lot of Democrats. I think they're hoping that they're going to exhaust people. But the thing that gives me hope is that they're like organizers are organizing like weekly protests.
Yeah, there's like 3 happening next week. Yeah.
But it's just people have been going all out, and it really feels like it's done very little to change like the politicians in power,
We know like Fushi just flipped finally,
but
finally
like
called
the US
for
at the
ceasefire in North
highest level,
Carolina,
even higher than a US representative. Like they've just continued to provide weapons, and I don't know. It's it's terrifying to see. But yeah, hopefully we can do that episode sometime soon.
Yeah, no, I'd definitely be down for that. Maybe Joyland and then that.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts about the event?
We did another one before that at the bookstore.
Oh yeah, that was really lovely. I think we've mentioned the bookstore before on the podcast. They're called Few of a Kind Bookstore. They're in Bloomfield in Pittsburgh. I think we can say her name, right?
No.
Okay, you can bleep that.
Just stop saying people's names.
Anyway, the woman who runs the bookstore is 80. I feel like we've had a really cool experience just like meeting incredible older people in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I mean, of course we've met older people before, but I don't know if I've like felt as close in community. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's a thought for another time because I can't really fully articulate it now. But yeah, she led us through a...
Normally we hate old people.
No, that's not what I mean. I just mean that I haven't had a lot of like non-family members who are older that I felt like deeply connected to.
Yeah.
Which is probably on me. I should seek out more of those people because it's wonderful to have that kind of mentorship and learn from people.
Yeah.
But yeah, she led us through some selections of Rumi and we discussed them. And it was really cute, very like wholesome community vibes. A lot of like
everyone
mostly
was
Muslim.
Very excited to talk about Rumi.
Yeah, and it was kind of like Rumi, like a lot of like working through stuff qua Rumi, which I think is great. Like they're talking about like current events and people's individual lives and states of mind and how they were feeling that day, that week in general. It was almost all Muslim women, which is really sweet. I think there was 3 Muslim men.
It was me,
the guy by the door,
son. And then like then
there was like 4, I guess.
No, it was 3.
No, because there was an older man who like was talking about, remember like how Rumi teaches us how to eat properly, and like he was kind of into some stuff like that, which was interesting.
4. Yeah, you're right.
And then the ney player, which was cool. I'd never heard a ney before. Yeah. So yeah, like 3 or 4, but it was, I mean, how many Muslim women were there? Maybe like 17.
I have a beat that samples ney. You've heard it.
Yeah, you should play it here. I like that beat a lot. But yeah, there was a ney player who was playing like this Turkish instrument that is mentioned in Rumi's work. Yeah, it was really sweet. It was fun to be part of. Mm-hmm. Gosh, was that only last week? That feels like a lifetime ago.
It was the week before.
No, I think it was last week.
Oh yeah, it was like
that's
yeah,
crazy.
It was last week, and then we had the other event, and then next week we're doing 2 events.
Yes.
So I'm gonna be making a lot of I've been buying up like so much milk.
He looks like a crazy prepper. It's really funny.
I feel bad. I have
you
to.
You shouldn't though. All these stores. We went to like Whole Foods today. They have enough milk. You know.
I go to multiple stores
because he doesn't want to like
split it up because I don't want to look crazy.
Yeah. Because today like what we bought like 7 cartons of milk.
8.
Yeah. So he does like 4 and 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, next week there is a really cool like jazz event that I think we've talked about before, and we're going to that again, and you're providing chai for that. And then we're going to do the first salon in our home, which I'm so excited for because that was such a way that we created community in North Carolina. It was like a really nice just open house thing. Like anyone's welcome. Just DM us for the address, bring a friend. And it's really fun and special to get to meet people in your own home. It's also just like very low for stakes for us. I mean, obviously I clean, you make chai.
High stakes for me. I make bread.
You make bread, but like we don't have to like go anywhere. Like people just come to us, which is nice.
Yeah. It's nice that way.
But yeah, I gotta text people for that because I feel like that's important for the first couple of ones. And then after that, they kind of just take on a life of their own. Mm-hmm. And there's also a couple people that we met early on in moving here who I haven't seen for a while, so that'd be fun to see them again. So I'd like to invite them. Yeah, that's kind of what's on the docket for us. And then the weekend after that, we're going to North Carolina because my younger brother-in-law, who is much younger than Ahmed, Ahmed's little brother, is graduating from college. So that's going to be really exciting.
Congratulations.
Yes. Shout out if you're listening. We're very proud of you. And then, so we'll be there for just the weekend, just in Charlotte, which will be nice. It'll be like a little sad to be in North Carolina and not go to our old haunts, but I think you might make a trip after that. And then we'll be back for like our wedding party in May. We're already married, but we're doing a party. It's a long story.
Yeah.
And then we're going to New York.
Some people would say we're getting remarried.
We're not getting remarried. We are married.
On the second one.
We're celebrating our love.
Should we get divorced and then married?
No, astaghfirullah.
Oh.
No. That's so sad. I showed my students our nikah contract.
We don't have our marriage contract.
Yeah.
Or not contract. What is it called? The marriage certificate.
Like our legal marriage certificate. But we have our nikah contract and we are married.
I haven't seen any evidence to suggest that we are married.
Oh, we'll order our marriage certificate. Do you want to frame that and put it next to our nikah?
As far as I've been calling you my roommate.
Oh my gosh, that's messed up.
Yeah, and when people, I'm like, oh yeah, my roommate is...
No, you're so cute. You always say my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're going to North Carolina for a weekend in December, and then we are going to New York for a full week, which will be really fun. So we're looking forward to that. Mm-hmm. So if anyone's in New York, let us know. We'll be there.
We had some family drama today.
Oh yeah.
I've been speaking of New York.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got on the subject, but
I feel like it was completely unprompted. I feel like you were just out for blood.
No, it was related somehow.
We were not talking about anything related.
About?
I don't think we were. You were just
anyway.
Being a hater.
I was saying no, because you were saying some shit about New York being the best.
Oh, is that what prompted it?
Yeah.
I think you were saying that Charlotte. Okay, I'm gonna get hate for this because I love North Carolina, y'all. I want to move back.
I was saying Charlotte is the Manhattan of North Carolina.
So let me caveat with that my North Carolina, I miss it dearly. I really think about moving back.
Let me be more specific. Charlotte is the Manhattan of North Carolina in terms of the people who live there.
Because it's like the financial center.
It's the finance. It's like all the people.
And
who
I was like, lol, that's so funny and sad.
Yeah.
Because I don't love Charlotte.
And
it's nothing compared to New York. But I love other parts of North Carolina
to New York
a lot
because it doesn't have shit on every single sidewalk.
Okay, you're right. That's what got you into it.
So then I was saying that every time you go out in New York, you see poop.
And you were saying human poop because at first I was like, dog poop, I guess.
I mean, I'm saying poop. I'm gonna guess a mix. I don't know what percentage because I haven't tested it.
You can tell the difference between human poop and dog poop.
Not always. Sometimes a big dog takes a big human-sized shit, and sometimes a person takes a small dog-sized shit. It's a weird, crazy world we live in.
I was saying that's ridiculous. You not see poop every time you walk around New York.
Every time. So we hit the family group chat with that, and I think it's a pretty divided family.
It's very divided. One of my sisters, my mom and I, and my dad and I were all like, that's not the case.
And then your other sister.
But my other sister was like, if you take the subway.
And your other sister's partner were like, yeah, absolutely.
I'm glad my other sister chimed in because at first I was like, because my sister's partner like moved to New York. He didn't grow up there. He's been living there for 2 years now. Mm-hmm. So I was like, this is just an anti-New York bias. Mm-hmm. But my sister grew up in New York, so. And I haven't lived there since I was 18, so maybe I shouldn't, be talking.
Yeah, my theory is that, like, if you're in a place with like a bad odor, like with sulfur long enough, like your olfactory system, like your brain just learns to ignore the smell. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the same thing happens with New Yorkers where it just kind of fades into the background of life. You're just like, oh, and you would notice the absence of shit on the sidewalks, but you don't notice that it's there.
I don't think so. I think that people are just delicate, and like you probably just smell something bad and you're like, oh, it must be shit, but it's probably just garbage or something.
No, I can see poop on the sidewalk.
I don't think that's real, but
it's everywhere.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
New York is a special place. It's not everything, but it is a lot.
And listen, I'm not suggesting anything like bad about New York City. I'm just saying I'm being descriptive here.
But again, I would say
Charlotte's sidewalks are much cleaner.
Not a great city.
But I don't.
Durham, a very special city. That's my ending thoughts.
Charlotte's not bad.
Asheville,
it's a fun time to visit. I don't know if I would love living there.
I mean, to be fair, I guess I haven't like seen it extensively, but
if you're listening to this and you're in Charlotte, fuck you.
No, it's not what I'm saying. There are good people everywhere, and there's some cute
Except
stuff
Charlotte,
in Charlotte,
North
obviously.
Carolina.
I just don't see
Drake
myself
just dropped a song called 8 a.m. in Charlotte.
There. That's so random. Why?
Because it's a pretty busy airport. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
He's talking about just flying through
We
there.
booked our tickets last minute, so we have to drive. We, as in Ahmed, has to drive us all the way to North Carolina.
And I feel like I've really procrastinated on doing car stuff.
Well, at least this will make us do it, so that's good.
But it's kind of a process. I still need to register the car. I was apparently supposed to do that like 3 months ago.
That seems like such a short time frame. That's so unreasonable.
You're supposed to do it within 60 days, and you're supposed to get a new driver's license.
That's like a lot to do when you've just moved. I feel like that's not very nice.
Yeah.
A lot of those moving tasks things are catching up to us now.
No one tells you. You're kind of just supposed to look it up on your own. Like,
yeah.
You don't get like a letter in the mail when you establish residency saying, oh, by the way, if you have a car.
Yeah. That reminds me, like today I went to get my birth control. I don't think this is too TMI, but my prescription expired, so I have to like get a primary care doctor here. So that's exciting. Good times.
Yeah. What else have we been up to?
I mean, that was a lot. We've been up to a lot. I'm also just surviving my semester. I'm so excited that I'm almost done. I love my students. I love my classes. But I think that students and faculty are very much in the same boat, that at the end of the semester, it just kind of feels like a mad dash and everyone's exhausted.
Yeah.
So my last day of classes is Friday. And so I'm just like so excited because, I mean, I don't regret it at all, because like planning this event and doing stuff outside of work really gives me a lot of sustenance in life. And also like the communities that I'm meeting through the university are tied to those other types of work also. They're not mutually exclusive. But all that to say, I'm just like a little tired and excited to not be teaching for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I got to do a lot of work to prep my next class.
You got to prep a lot of prep.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to having a few days off to reset. So yeah.
Oh, you saw the exercise warehouse.
Oh my gosh, I went to Ahmed's infamous Italian gym.
So my gym is like it's like the last bastion of Italian culture in the Italian neighborhood in Pittsburgh.
Bloomfield, which we really like that neighborhood
anytime
a lot.
you enter the front doors, there's like 4 or 5 Italian men just hanging out in the entrance.
Yeah, it feels very much like
and it's kind of like it's an art gallery in the sense that there is just like pictures of bodybuilders everywhere, a lot of random ass signs,
a lot of signs telling you how to move properly and what to do. It's like, don't be weak, don't touch the treadmill edges.
Like don't hold yourself up on the rail of the treadmill because it allegedly or apparently results in you burning 40% fewer calories.
But that sign also ended with like, don't be weak, and I was like, God damn.
It says it's a sign of weakness to hold onto the sides of the treadmill while you're using it.
It was definitely a strong vibe. I think it would take me a while to get used to it. I don't know if I'd be comfortable going without you, but it has everything you need. It's pretty reasonably priced, and it's so close. And like, all I wanted to do that day was just go on the treadmill, and it was perfect for that. I did have one sad encounter, which I feel
You saw a man touching himself.
No, that sounds so much worse than it was. But I went upstairs to the women's locker room, and I'm like a little bit clumsy, and I I feel like it's hard to explain this. I'm just like, yeah, I'm very clumsy is the best that I can say. I'm not great at navigating new spaces. And I was looking for the bathroom. And then I thought the whole space upstairs like was labeled women's locker room. And so I opened a door and there was a man in there, a very old Italian man. And he was, I'm assuming he was Italian. He looked Italian, but I don't know for sure. He had like a little back scratcher massage thing. So he wasn't doing anything bad, but he like yelled. He was just like, why'd you open the door? Yeah. I was like, I'm so sorry. And I closed the door, but I couldn't close it all the way. And he was like still muddling and muttering. So I just ran away. Yeah. But I found the bathroom. So that was good. I couldn't lock the door. It also made me a little uncomfortable, but nothing bad happened.
I don't know if you noticed, but while we were there, so there's an upstairs above the area where you were.
Oh, okay.
And again, this is like a very old school meathead bodybuilding gym with old equipment, and it gets cleaned, but I don't know how often. And the guy who was cleaning happened to be there that day and was cleaning the upstairs with like almost like a leaf blower type thing. He was just like blowing dust
into what
around.
Oh,
so it wasn't like getting sucked up. So so I saw him upstairs because there's like a line of sight where you can look into the upstairs from downstairs. And then the area where you were, like massive just chunks of dust falling from him blowing the dust around upstairs. And it was like it was raining dust. Like I saw guys that were just like scratching their eyes and like waving it away out of their faces. And I was like, I fucking love this place.
It definitely feels like a skit. Like it feels like it's something out of like a show or a movie.
And I thought, because I've been there so many times, and every time I look at the, the gallery of just old bodybuilders and stuff. And
even that is so weird. Most gyms don't have so much shit like hanging on the walls. Yeah.
But, and there used to be a point where I was like, okay, I think I've seen everything here. But now I'm just like, I think I'm going to discover something new every time I'm here. And I have. It's kind of crazy.
What a special thing.
It's very special.
Yeah. But it was a cool experience. And it was very convenient. So I think I'll probably get a pass.
You didn't get any unsolicited advice from
No, I had my
Tony.
headphones on and I was not making eye contact with anybody.
That doesn't stop him. You probably just got lucky, but that's not a foolproof method. He was not. Okay. I would have pointed him out.
Yeah.
If he was.
Yeah. But yeah, I think those are all of our updates.
Yeah.
Good traction with Caravanserai. End of semester. Sleepy.
Yeah. I've got one item. We'll do this backward.
Okay.
Did you have anything?
No, go for it.
I've got a thing I collected. I haven't really been doing a good job of bookmarking items as of late, but we got this one.
I got a new yoga mat. It's really pretty. It's pink and marble.
That's nice.
I don't really hate any, but here's a very humbling experience that epiphany that I've had recently. Because so many fucking people hate me for really no reason, and it really made me realize that like people only hate somebody they're jealous of. And I've been guilty of hating people, and when I really sat back and thought about it, it was because I was jealous of where that person was in their life. I felt like maybe they got an opportunity that I should have gotten.
That was a really, really good, well-rounded answer. I'm trying to wrap my head around. Do you think people who hate Osama bin Laden are jealous of him?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Who are these people?
I don't know who the two women are, but the guy who was talking is a comedian named Matt Rife.
Oh, so he's joking. He sounded very serious. I didn't really get it.
No, I think he's being interviewed. I think
he's just an idiot.
Sincere, but the woman was who asked if
is obviously trolling him.
No, I think that was a sincere question.
Oy.
Yeah. So she's asking, oh, great. Yeah. So like if jealousy begets hatred, then
she's kind of doing the smart logical play out of what he's saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Then maybe people are, just jealous of Osama bin Laden.
I feel like she must be trolling him because like that obviously sounds like she's making fun of him.
Which maybe he was like 6 something. He was pretty tall.
He's a terrible human. No
He's
one's
a bad
jealous
guy.
of him. Yeah.
That would have been a better, thing to play when people were sharing his letter.
Yeah.
But yeah. Have you ever heard of Matt Rife?
Mm-mm.
You haven't heard of him? That's surprising. Apparently he's like a handsome comedian. That's his type of comedy.
That he's handsome?
Yeah, and so most of his audience is women. But
do you think I only follow handsome male comedians?
Yes.
That's definitely not true.
That's what you like.
No.
What comedians do you like?
I don't remember their names, but I follow a bunch of comedians.
See?
I follow lots of. I just watch random clips on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I love Taylor Thomason.
Handsome.
She's a lady.
Handsome lady.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
See?
That's true.
Yeah. All right. Well, do we have anything else to talk about?
Not this episode, but definitely tune back in for our upcoming content.
Okay, so we're gonna do Joyland next time.
And then we'll try and do Jesper Puar's book.
Yes.
Yes. Have we ever done an episode live from Thomasville where we talked about Thomasville and its history?
No.
That could be interesting.
Could it?
We're gonna go to Thomasville after Charlotte to say hi to Ahmed's parents. We haven't seen them for a while.
There's that one sign downtown. Do you remember? Or it's like it marks a historic square.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this is the site of this man's house. It was
the
biggest
just a
house.
really big house.
And I'm like, probably a plantation.
100%. Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Thomasville is interesting. It could be interesting to talk about.
Okay.
Something to think about.
Maybe if we find someone to interview who knows the history very well, that would be cool. Like the mayor. We could talk to the mayor of Thomasville.
Who is the mayor of Thomasville?
No fucking idea.
God, do you know what I really want to do? I've always wanted to see like a passion play. Do you think, when do they start those?
Oh, they probably will have this.
I would love to see that. Like seriously, I've like read about them like, in religious studies, religion of American literature. And you showed me some pictures.
Oh shit, that would be cool. Okay, yeah.
That would be a really interesting experience to have. At the risk of sounding a little obnoxious and fetishizing, I think that'd be really interesting to observe.
Especially in these times.
Yeah, well, I don't know
if they're interesting.
What do you mean these times?
Because aren't passion plays historically like anti-Semitic? Like they were used to like rouse anti-Semitic sort of.
That's like such a good point. I wouldn't have even thought of that. Yeah, I guess you're right. But I
it's
don't
also
know that they always
people,
have to be that way.
No, they don't have to be. But I think historically they were. But then it's also, I feel like it overlaps. Well, I guess it's not contradictory, but it does overlap with like Christian Zionism a lot. It's like the people who hate Jews also like want there to be like a Jewish state that.
Yeah, but I would say that I think that's more of like a historical thing. I'm guessing that like passion plays were more.
Passion plays are used.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of. I mean, this is gonna sound really rude, but in my experience, like teaching like young Christian students in the South, I think a lot of Christians aren't really aware of the historical links between Judaism and Christianity as much as you might think that they would be. When
Christ came out, people were like, "This is a passion play," and it's like people were mad at Mel Gibson.
But because that was really portrayed Jews in really stupid ways.
But I guess wouldn't that mean that there's some like people who do see it as doing that, or?
I think that was just Mel Gibson. I'm just saying I don't think your average American Christian has a very nuanced understanding of the relationship between Christianity and Judaism.
I see.
Like even the fact that Jesus was a Jew is like news to a lot of undergrads.
Yeah.
Who proclaim themselves to be pretty practicing Christians.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that just speaks to how literacy in general has gone down, and that includes religious literacy.
Okay, we'll get tickets.
But I mean, passion like things that are like passion plays also do exist in like a lot of different cultures. If you think about it, like I mean,
you gotta stop moving the mic around. So much.
If you think about like modern reenactments of like, the Battle of Karbala for Shias, like you could really definitely call that a passion play. It's like a similar idea of like recounting a story and like tying it to contemporary things, and getting everyone out to look at it. And they tend to be like very populist, and they tend to also be, if they are emotionally excessive, something that actually religious elites are not particularly fond of.
Okay,
but yeah,
you want to do that? Maybe we can go to a Pentecostal church too.
Sure.
Or like a Southern Baptist. Have you ever been to a Southern Baptist church?
No.
Also.
I think I've only been to Lutheran and Catholic churches just because of my family.
Yeah.
I actually genuinely don't think I've been to any church that wasn't Lutheran or Catholic.
Yeah, so we'll do all that stuff. I'm sure my parents will love.
I mean, we don't have to say it. We can just, we'll
just
say, hey, we're going to go for a little. They don't mind when we go for like little outings, which is good. Yeah. I'm sure we'll watch a lot of Egyptian movies. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
We'll catch up on how Cece's doing.
Yeah.
We'll hear about that.
Yeah.
Your family is super following the conflict though, and it's very pro-Palestine, which is not surprising but still sweet. So that'll be like a nice thing to talk about together. I mean, not nice, but we can, we'll be on the same page about that. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Bye, friends.
Bye.